Welcome back to Gear Up Bike, the home for every passionate rider, where we explore the machines that stir our hearts and roar on the open road. Today, we're talking about something legendary, something that carries the soul of Indian biking heritage into the future. Yes, you guessed it right, this is the all-new 2025 Rajdoot 350, a name that once ruled the roads and now returns with a modern heartbeat. When you hear the name Rajdoot, you instantly think of nostalgia, simplicity, and toughness. A bike that once defined rural mobility in India and was loved by millions. But in 2025, Rajdoot has been reborn, not as just another commuter, but as a neoclassic street machine that blends retro styling with modern engineering. Let's dive deep into what makes this comeback so exciting. The first thing that catches your eye when you see the 2025 Rajdoot 350 is its bold stance. It stays true to its classic DNA: a round headlamp, teardrop-shaped tank, upright riding position, but everything is sharper, cleaner, and more premium now. The front gets a circular LED headlight with a chrome bezel that pays tribute to the original design, while underneath, you'll notice the subtle detailing of daytime running lights that add a futuristic touch. The front suspension is telescopic, finished with polished fork covers that scream old school cool. The front fender is neatly sculpted and adds to the retro vibe. From the side view, this bike looks stunningly balanced. The tank retains the classic Rajdoot curves but is now slightly more muscular. The 350 badge sits proudly on the tank with vintage-style Rajdoot lettering engraved on the side panels. The seat is a single-piece flat design with contrast stitching that gives a nostalgic look, yet feels soft and supportive. The side profile also highlights a matte black engine casing, dual exhaust pipes with chrome tips, and beautifully designed alloy wheels that match the old wire-spoke charm but with a modern twist. Moving to the rear, the bike stays consistent with its vintage theme. The taillight is a small round LED unit inspired by the original Rajdoot's design. The dual exhausts on either side give it a perfectly symmetrical look. The rear fender extends slightly outward, which complements the overall proportions beautifully. The 2025 Rajdoot 350 manages to mix classic lines with contemporary components so well that it feels both familiar and fresh at the same time. Now, let's talk about what's beating underneath that stylish frame: the engine. The 2025 Rajdoot 350 gets a brand new 349cc single-cylinder, air and oil-cooled engine developed to deliver a mix of torque and refinement. It produces around 20.5 horsepower and 27 Nm of torque, paired with a 5-speed gearbox. The tuning of this engine focuses more on mid-range grunt than outright top-end performance, which means you get that satisfying thump when you twist the throttle, something every Rajdoot fan remembers. The sound, oh yes, the exhaust note, it's deep, bassy, and nostalgic. The engineers have clearly tuned it to echo the character of the old Rajdoot, while keeping emissions modern-day compliant. There's a sense of mechanical purity when you ride it, and no unnecessary electronics, no artificial feel, just a direct connection between rider and machine. The bike sits on a double cradle steel frame for that old-school rigidity and control. The suspension setup is well calibrated for Indian roads, telescopic forks at the front and twin gas-charged shock absorbers at the rear. The ride quality feels planted yet comfortable, whether you're cruising on the highway or gliding through the city. Braking duties are handled by disc brakes on both ends with dual-channel ABS. It doesn't have fancy ride modes or traction control, and honestly, it doesn't need them. The Rajdoot 350 is about pure, analog joy. Now, talking about performance on the road, the bike feels lively but not intimidating. The throttle response is smooth, the gearbox shifts with precision, and the engine has enough flow and torque to pull easily even in higher gears. It cruises effortlessly at around 90 to 100 km/h, and while it can go beyond, this bike feels happiest when you ride it with rhythm rather than aggression. The weight is around 185 kilograms, which gives it a planted feel on corners. The balance between comfort and handling is spot on. The wide handlebars and neutral ergonomics make it a joy to ride even in city traffic. The seat height is accessible for most riders, making it friendly for daily use as well as weekend rides. When you ride the 2025 Rajdoot 350, You feel a sense of timelessness. It's not trying to compete with the modern sport bikes or cruisers. It's here to remind you why you fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. The simplicity, the sound, the vibration, the connection, it's all there. The instrument cluster combines analog and digital elements, a large circular speedometer with a small digital screen that shows trip data, fuel, and gear position. The controls are basic but solid, and the switch gear feels high quality. The tank holds about 14 liters of fuel, and with a mileage of around 30 to 35 kilometers per liter, it offers a decent range for long rides. Rajdoot has also added subtle touches like a USB charging port, LED indicators, and a small storage pocket under the seat. It's a clever mix of nostalgia and practicality. Now, let's talk about the price. The 2025 Rajdoot 350 is expected to be priced around a superscript 12.1 lakh ex showroom, which places it right in competition with bikes like the Royal Enfield Classic 350, Jawa 42, and Honda CB 350. But where the Rajdoot stands out is its emotional connect and authenticity. It's not just a bike, it's a revival of a legend that once ruled Indian roads for decades. For those who grew up seeing the original Rajdoot in their homes or villages, this new version feels like a bridge between generations, a machine that respects its past while embracing the present. The build quality feels solid, the paint finish is premium, and the attention to detail, from the tank badges to the stitching on the seat, really shows the effort Rajdoot has put into this rebirth. So, who is this bike for? If you're someone who values character over features, if you enjoy relaxed rides where it's more about the journey than the destination, and if you love motorcycles that tell a story, then the 2025 Rajdoot 350 is for you. It's for riders who appreciate craftsmanship, simplicity, and legacy. As we wrap up this review, one thing is clear: Rajdoot is not just back, it's back with purpose. The 2025 Rajdoot 350 is not trying to be the fastest or the most advanced bike. It's trying to reconnect us to the roots of riding, to the days when the sound of a thumping single-cylinder echoed through empty roads, when motorcycles were about freedom, not screens or modes. The all-new Rajdoot 350 brings back that raw, soulful experience in a modern shell, and that's what makes it special. So, what do you think about this reborn legend? Would you like to see it parked in your garage, or do you think the classics should stay in history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Gear Up Bike, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming reviews of the latest motorcycles hitting the streets. Until next time, this is Gear Up Bike, signing off. Ride safe, ride free, and always, gear up before you ride. Outro music plays, engine rev sound fades out.